that it's not about what you want to have. It's about being the person who has, right? The having is a function of being, right? You have to be first the person who has. And this is an art, right? The art of assumption. And it is the most important art you could ever attempt to learn. All right, welcome back to another episode of Daily Neville. I am your host, Josiah Brandt, and Daily Neville is all about making the teachings of Neville Goddard easy to understand, easy to digest, easy to apply in 20 minutes or less. Today, we are continuing with the power of awareness, and this is chapter 15, and it is titled, The Crown of the Mysteries. The Crown of the Mysteries. Neville writes, the assumption of the wish fulfilled is the ship that carries you over the unknown seas to the fulfillment of your dream. The assumption is everything. Realization is subconscious and effortless. So what Neville is saying here is the assumption is the whole point. It is the whole part and part. It's the whole thing. The assumption is the ship that carries you. It's everything. The actual realization, the actual destination is effortless. It's subconscious. You don't have to think about it. It fills in itself. It takes care of itself. The part that does not operate itself is the assumption. That is the job for you and I, the assumption. Assume a virtue if you have it not. Act on the assumption that you already possess that which you sought. So act on the assumption. Act on the assumption that you already have what you used to be looking for. Even a moment ago, maybe you thought you were looking for something. And now, Neville's invitation to you is to act through assumption that you already possess that which you were, even a moment ago, looking for. Blessed is she that believed, for there shall be a performance of those things which were told her from the Lord. Now, what were those things that were told her from the Lord? Well, we know the Lord is the imagination, that which can accomplish all things, the beginning and the end and everything in between. All that is contained within the imagination. Blessed is she that believed, for there shall be a performance, meaning it will come into fruition, it will come into fact, that those things which were told her from the Lord. Now, telling from the Lord is the assumption of the feeling of the wish fulfilled. It's moving there psychologically first and dwelling in that state. It's building the mansion and moving in. Those are the things that were told her from the Lord. And blessed is she that believed, meaning blessed is she that assumed. As the Immaculate Conception, Neville writes, is the foundation of the Christian mysteries, so the assumption is their crown. So the foundation of the Christian mystery is the Immaculate Conception, meaning the birth of Jesus from a virgin mother. Immaculate Conception, without the involvement of a man, no man involved. Mary gives birth to a son, Jesus. And that is the foundation of the Christian mystery. Neville says, just as that is the foundation, the crown of the Christian mystery is assumption. Psychologically, the Immaculate Conception means the birth of an idea in your consciousness, unaided by another. Giving birth to an idea in your consciousness without any help from anyone else. For instance, when you have a specific wish or hunger or longing, it is an immaculate conception in the sense that no physical person or thing plants it in your mind. It is self-conceived. It's an immaculate conception. It is self-conceived. You do not need another. You do not need to know another to perform this conception. Every man is the Mary of the Immaculate Conception, and birth to his idea must give. The assumption is the crown of the mysteries because it is the highest use of consciousness. Some wisdom to these words. The assumption is the crown of the mysteries because it is the highest use of consciousness. There's kind of three tiers to consciousness. It's consciousness just existing. It's kind of the baseline, just is, right? And then second tier is it becomes aware of itself, right? Consciousness looking in at itself, the observer becoming aware of its own awareness, right? Thinking about your thinking, becoming aware of your own awareness. That's step two. And step three is assumption, meaning that knowing that you are, being aware of yourself that you are, knowing, being aware of I am in that way. The third step and the crown is to then consciously assume and become the creator. This is the highest use of consciousness. And what a gift. When, in imagination, you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you are mentally lifted up to a higher level. This should be very familiar to you at this point. You should have some practice assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled, and you feel how it lifts you to a higher level, to a higher mood. When, through your persistence, this assumption becomes actual fact, meaning you're remaining faithful to your assumption, you're remaining faithful to the feeling, and in your persistence and faithfulness to living in integrity with this feeling, the outer world serves to you facts that you can observe with your physical senses that prove to you that you are reflecting in the external that which you are in the internal. When through persistence, this assumption becomes actual fact, you automatically find yourself on a higher level. So mentally, you are lifted to a higher level through the feeling of the wish fulfilled. And then as the assumption becomes actual fact, you find yourself on a higher level. That is, you have achieved your desire in your objective world. You achieve your desire subjectively first, meaning in the inner world of cause. And then you achieve it objectively, meaning in the outer world of form, where other people can also see it. Your assumption guides all your conscious and subconscious movements towards its suggested end. So, inevitably, that it actually dictates the events. I'm going to read that sentence again. Your assumption guides all of your subconscious and conscious movements towards its suggested end. So inevitably, that it actually dictates the events. What he's saying here is that your assumption dictates the events. What you assume to be true dictates what happens in circumstances and events in your life. Think about that. Your assumption dictates circumstances and events. And if this is inevitable, cannot be escaped. This is how it works. Neville writes, the drama of life is a psychological one, meaning it's all happening up here. It's all happening up here. The drama of life is a psychological one. It's all happening up here. And the whole of it is written and produced by your assumptions. The story of your life, written and produced by your assumptions. Learn the art of assumption, for only in this way can you create your own happiness. Learn the art of assumption. I love that he uses the word art. There is a science to this, as we've discussed at length, but in application, it is more of an art, the art of assumption, the art of catching the mood of moving into the feeling of the wish fulfilled. To do so, to build that house, to build that mansion that you can then dwell in, you have to get really clear. What type of house do you desire to live in? What type of mansion do you desire to live in? A mansion and house, I'm using in this example as a state of being. Who do you desire to be, right? A lot of people are very focused on what they desire to have. And the point of this exercise is to understand that it's not about what you want to have. It's about being the person who has, right? The having is a function of being, right? You have to be first the person who has. And this is an art, right? The art of assumption. And it is the most important art you could ever attempt to learn. We all are assumption artists. We are lifestyle artists. And this is the highest art that we are called to express as creators. I have a prompt for you. In the comments below, give me your hot tip for the art of assumption. What is the secret to the art of assumption in your own words, in your own mind, in your own experience? What is the secret of the art of assumption? You are an assumption artist. Share with us your artist secret. Leave a comment for yourself and bless others with it. Tap the thumbs up button to help others find this important video, and subscribe to this channel so that you get the treasure of Daily Neville tomorrow. Imagine wisely, my friends, and I'll see you in the next.